Hi guys, my name is Bex and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing to you my May wrap-up. As usual, another month has been and gone and it's already time for my May wrap-up, and I'm confused at how this happened, but I'm excited about the books I read this month. We will be starting with the stats, and this month I read 8 books and a total of 2,737 pages. And of these I read 6 physical books, 1 audiobook, and 1 graphic novel. The genre breakup of the month was 3 fantasy books, 2 sci-fi books, 1 historical fiction, 1 contemporary, and 1 superhero book. And then we move on to the ratings, and I had 1 3.5-star book, 4 4-star books, and 3 5-star books. So overall, had a really good reading month, and I basically loved every book I read, so that's really exciting. So with that being said, let's just jump into the books that I read. The first book I read was A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas, and of course this was a highly anticipated read for me, and I freaking loved it. Now, I know there's a lot of people hating on this book at the moment, but I loved the characters. I loved seeing them all again. I loved seeing them rebuild after the war, and I loved seeing where the series is going to go from here. So basically, A Court of Frost and Starlight is a novella that follows the A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy and leads into the next book. G from Book Rose described this one as like a Christmas story, and that's exactly what it is. It's about the winter solstice and it's Feyre's birthday, and it's just a time of giving and what do we give each other, and it was just fun. I went into this one with low expectations. I just went into this one wanting a short, quick novella to see where the characters are at, and it showed us who we're following in the next book, and I'm unsure how I feel about it just yet, but we shall see. The next book I read was my audiobook for the month, and that was A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, and I listened to this one audiobook and I read along with it. I think that's my favourite way of reading. When I'm listening to an audiobook, I love to read along with it, and this book was 5 out of 5 stars. It was amazing. A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue follows a guy named Monty and his best friend Percy. And Monty grows up in the 1700s, I believe, and he basically goes on his grand tour before he has to settle down and run his father's estate with him. But Monty's a little bit of a rebellion. He doesn't like following the rules, and he just wants to drink and have a good time, and that's what it's about. They go on this grand adventure across the continent, and things ensue. They end up in a little bit of trouble and a little bit off the path that his father wanted him on. This was really good. This was really funny and light and a great historical fiction to read. Monty was an amazing character to follow, and we also followed Percy and Felicity, who is Monty's sister, and Percy's Monty's best friend, who Monty may be in love with. So yeah, a lot of adventure. It was such a fun time. I found myself laughing out loud and just enjoying the ride on this one, and I can't wait to dive into the second book, which is based on Felicity, and it comes out this year and I could not be more excited. The next book I read in the month of May was To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, and this was a book I received from Allen and Unwin for a review, so thank you very much to Allen and Unwin for providing me with this one. I really liked To Kill a Kingdom. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars, and it is basically a dark Little Mermaid retelling, which is just the coolest thing ever. So this story follows Princess Lyra, who is a siren, and her mother is the Sea Queen. But Lyra is deadly, and for her birthday every year she has collected a prince's heart. Things go a little bit awry, and Lyra ends up displeasing her mother, and her mother turns her into a human. This story also follows Prince Elian, who is he's a bit of a rebel. He is a prince, but he is also a siren hunter, so he is hunting her kind, and they end up on the same paths. A really interesting tale of their interaction. I found this was a fun take on The Little Mermaid. I thought it was darker. I think it was more brutal, but I really enjoyed the character dynamic in this. That was my favourite part of the book, how they all interacted, and how the prince was kind of a pirate as well. He kind of did his own thing and didn't really want to run the throne, but it was a really good story, and I really recommend this one. It was action-packed, and it was just a fun, dark story, and yeah, I loved it. The next book I read in the month of May was Only Human by Sylvain Neuvel, and this one, I'm so excited about this one. I read this one with Jess from Jess Reads Books, and I freaking loved it. We had such a good reading experience together. This is the 3rd book in the Themis Files, and it's the finale. It was really good, so I can't really tell you about this one, but basically the first one is Sleeping Giants, and it's about a girl who falls into a hole, and inside this hole is a giant metal hand, and it's about when she is older becoming with a team that put this metal hand together and it turns into like a metal machine. And it's really, really interesting to see where this one goes. The story is incredible. It's suspenseful, it's gripping, nobody is safe. It's really interesting how they work on the morals in the story and what everyone's willing to do to survive. A really interesting take, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's also told in like dossiers, it's like interviews and surveillance footage and stuff like that. It's really, really cool, and I really enjoyed this finale. I got teary, I was very emotional about it, and I've heard there might be another one coming, but I definitely recommend, if you like sci-fi and stories told in a different sort of way and more of a dark, suspenseful sci-fi, you definitely need to pick up the Themis Files. They are really, really good. The next book I read in the month of May was Lifelike by Jay Kristoff, and I was lucky enough to go to Brisbane to the Lifelike launch, and I'll leave my vlog up here for you guys to have a look at. But I had such a good time down there, and I got to meet Jay Kristoff, and I got to meet some other Brisbane bookish friends, which was amazing, and I got to join the Name of the Book Club. And yeah, it was just a really fun-filled 2 days of bookish stuff, and I loved it. But Lifelike was a really good read for me. So I gave Lifelike a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really was conflicted on how to rate this one because I love Jay Kristoff's work and I love Nevernight and the Illuminae Files and God's Grave. And this one was a little bit different. So this is Jay's YA novel, and it follows 17-year-old Eve, who isn't looking for trouble. She's too busy looking over her shoulder. She ends up on a local gangster's wanted list, and basically she's fleeing for her life, and then she stumbles across a lifelike. And a lifelike is like a robot that is exactly like a human, except better. Eve takes this robot and things ensue, really. She is then being hunted and her grandfather is taken, and shit goes down. I don't even know how to explain it really well. This one didn't pack the punch of the normal Jay Kristoff novels. Yes, there was so much suspense and action, but it just wasn't up to like the standards that I hold Jay to now, the standard of Nevernight and the standard of Illuminae. It was good, but it just wasn't the best, you know what I'm saying? I don't really have a full review up for this one yet because I haven't really got my thoughts together yet, but I loved hearing Jay talk about this one at the Lifelike launch and at the Name of the Book Club, and I really, really appreciated his insights on it, and I definitely will continue this series and read the next one, but this one just didn't pack the punch that I wanted it to. The next book I read in the month of May was From Twinkle with Love by Zendaya Manon. And I really enjoyed this one. You'll be shocked to know that I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I know. Who the frick am I? I'm not a big contemporary fan, but I received this one for a review from Hachette Australia. So thank you very much to Hachette Australia for providing this one to me for a review. And I really enjoyed it. I was really immersed in this story. It follows a girl named Twinkle. She's an aspiring filmmaker. That's all she's wanted to do. That's her dream. But she seems to have drifted apart from her best friend Maddie. Then she's approached by Sahil to like make a movie for an upcoming festival, and she jumps at the chance, especially because Sahil's brother Neil is just basically the epitome of a man in her eyes. But she begins her debut of directing and she finds herself falling. It's a cute, fluffy contemporary. I freaking really enjoyed it. I read this one in one sitting, which was a pretty good effort, and I definitely think now that I've read this, I want to pick up When Dimple Met Rishi because I hadn't read that one before because, you know, I'm not a big contemporary fan, but this one might have changed my mind a little bit. I definitely recommend this one if you like cute contemporaries. I think it did a wonderful job, and I really, really enjoyed the storytelling and the growth of the characters, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I read in the month of May was a graphic novel, and I read Captain Marvel Higher, Further, Faster, More by Kelly Sue DeConnick, and I really liked this as a starting comic book. I really, really enjoyed it. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars as well. I had fun, and it was a full story. It's not like it kind of began a story and cut you off because it's a first volume. It had a full, complete story, which I absolutely loved. You got to see more cameos of characters, and it was a fun plot. I loved the art style. It was really like action-packed and what I just love in comic books. I really enjoyed it. I really want to know more about Captain Marvel's character, so I definitely will be continuing on with this graphic novel series. And last but not least, guys, I know I managed to get through another book. I'm shocked as well. I read Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book to Caraval, which came out in 2018, and this is my advanced reader copy, which I was so lucky to receive from Hachette Australia. Thank you very much to Hachette Australia for providing this one to me for a review, and it says my name on it. Look, I freaking love this, and I cannot believe I got this advanced reader copy, so thank you so much, Hachette. But I really love this book. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This was everything I wanted and more. It was magical, mysterious, it was deceptive, and it was just a fun novel. I actually think I might have liked this more than Caraval. I didn't think I would, because this basically finishes off just after Caraval, and Caraval is a game that you've got to remember is only a game. Scarlet and her sister get swept up in the game last year, and this one follows Tella, who I think is so much more of a better character than Scarlet. Scarlet was really naive and dependent on her love interest to save her, let's just say. But this one, no. I really enjoyed what they did with Tella's character. I didn't think I would like her because I didn't really love her in the first one. I think she was quite deceptive. But reading this, I had a newfound appreciation for Tella, and I loved that the story was a bit darker and had a bit more at stake, because this one's kind of like, it's not really a game. Everything's very, very real, and I loved it. I can't really tell you much about it because you need to read Caraval, and then you need to pick up Legendary, because this was a really, really good book. And that's it for me today, guys. Those are the 8 books that I read in the month of May, and I really, really enjoyed so many of them. I was very, very lucky to receive some of these for review, so thank you very much to the lovely Australian publishers for providing some of these to me. I really, really appreciate it. Now, hopefully I can smash out just as many books this month as I did last month, because it is already June and I cannot wait to dive into some new fun books this month. But that's it from me today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more and have not already, and chat to me down in the comments. Let me know what books you read in the month of May. I would love to hear what you thought of them. I make videos every Monday and Thursday, and I'll see you in a new one. Bye!